In March of 2020, right at the beginning of the COVID panic, something fascinating was happening to the US stock market. It was dropping like a rock. And I was curious. I hadn't invested in stocks for 20 years at least, but something in the panic of the stock sell off seemed overblown to me. By the end of that month, stocks in some sectors like oil and airlines had dropped by half of their original value. And I had a moment of realization. Either the whole stock market was going to crash and the whole US economy was screwed, or it was going to bounce back hard. I thought about it for a few days, and then I made a decision. I scraped up all the liquid assets we had in our name, and I threw it into those most distressed stocks. After all, what did I really have to lose? That I wasn't going to lose anyway if the economy crashed. That decision to invest was one of the craziest things I've done in my life, and we know what happened next. Recently, there's been another bet I've been thinking a lot about, and I haven't brought myself to go all in quite yet. As a lifelong LDS member, I was raised with a God that I feared. I've been afraid of him since primary, since as long as I can remember, when we had our first lessons on sin and eternal punishment. I came to know him as a God of conditional love. If I did everything, and I mean everything right, he might accept me. Otherwise, I was going to hell with all the other sinners. And his list of sins was long and confusing. For instance, I learned he was angry with kids who weren't reverent in church, and people who drank caffeine, and people who laughed loudly, and a boy like me who just wanted to go fishing on a spring Sunday. It was hard to understand this God. I imagined him watching me, keeping track of my every move, ready to put me on the naughty list if I missed home teaching one month. My goodness, he was an impatient God. And this was the God we were taught to look forward to being with for eternity, the pinnacle of our existence. It's hard to imagine how stressful such an eternity would be, living with someone who was ready to find fault, critique, and then judge. In his heaven, I'd live in constant fear that I wasn't pleasing him, that one day he would cast me out over a technicality. The thing is, I left the LDS Church over 2 years ago, and yet sometimes I still find that I'm afraid of him. I still find myself wondering if he's keeping track of each of my mistakes. And that's why I'm sitting down and writing this. I'm tired of being afraid of God. And for the last couple of months, I've been a bit quiet, wrestling with this. When I lost my faith in the LDS Church, my faith stock market crashed completely. And ever since, I've been trying to rebuild it. But I notice I still hold on to some of that same judgmental, fearsome God. So a question occurs to me, just like it did back during the 2020 stock market crash. What do I have to lose by not believing in this fearsome God that I'm not already losing by believing in him? After all, if the God I was taught is real, heaven with him is exhausting, and hell is terrifying. I lose either way. So I've decided I want to make a different kind of bet. There's a chance that the LDS and Christian God is real. I don't deny that. And if he is, bad luck. But what if there's also a chance that there is a truly good God? One who's at least as good as I am. One who might even be better than the best people I know. That would mean he's not the conditional love God I see taught everywhere in the Christian world. He wouldn't be the kind of heaven or hell on a technicality God. He would be a truly loving, patient, kind God. One rushing to forgive, not rushing to judge. And if that's true, it's hard to imagine how wonderful heaven could be. If it's true, I want to spend the rest of my life trying to become like him, loving, patient, and forgiving. So my all-in bet is, for the first time in my life, to really believe in a God who I'm not afraid of. 2 years out of the LDS Church and still scared of God. Still wondering if I'm doing what's right. Still secretly scared to drink coffee. Secretly afraid if taking off my garments was right. Secretly wondering if maybe I'm not measuring up. I want to take off that burden. When I pray, I want to talk to a God who genuinely likes me, who cares about me, who sees us each as lost sheep down here, wandering, doing the best we can, and he is full of compassion, not criticism. And if I'm wrong to want that God, well, then I'm screwed anyway. I went all in on the stock market that first week of April 2020, everything we had, and I was amazed at what happened. And now, I want to go all in again. I want to take all of my fears of a lifetime believing in the scary Christian LDS God and throw them at the market in one big gamble. Who knows? Maybe this bet will pan out too. Seriously, what have I got to lose? In the end, I'd rather bet wrong on a good God than right on a God I have to fear.